This is Jay with Spokane-News. We're interviewing Deputy Thurman and Canine Laszlo. We'll start off with some questions from our fans.
Okay.
Does he have a favorite game?
Yeah, his favorite game is to catch ball anytime. He'd do it anywhere. He'd do it all day long. And I have to actually slow down for him to take a break because he'd keep on doing it if I allowed him to.
What kind of food do you feed Laszlo?
He's on natural balance. Dog food is what he eats.
Does Laszlo live with you?
Yes, yep, he lives with me, starts his shift with me, goes home with me, and he's with me all the time.
Does he have a normal life at home outside of work?
Yeah, he, it's obviously limited because he is a working dog, but yeah, he hangs out with our other dog that we have at home. They play out in the yard and stuff, and then when he's not actually with me, he's in a kennel so we can make sure he's secure.
One fan asked if he can swim.
He loves swimming, yep. Had him out at the lake this weekend jumping after the ball in the water, and he loves it.
Is Laszlo trained in both narcotics and explosives, or just tracking people?
Right now he's in patrol work, which is tracking people, and later on in the year I'll start cross-training him into drug work. But as of right now, he's just doing tracking.
Is there anything that you do to de-stress the animal after a long day with lots of noise and people activity?
Working the graveyard shift, by the time I get home, he's a pretty tired dog, so he gets fed and he goes and hits the sack until it's ready to go. He's pretty wound down by the end of the shift.
One asked, what training format was used to train him, and have you considered Nitro K training?
Not familiar with the Nitro K training. Where he was trained over in Germany. He was trained basically as a sporting dog, and he's Schützen 3 level for the German sport over there, which has a lot of the foundation of what we do in police work. And so he's titled over there, Schützen 3, and then we get him and got him from a vendor down in California, and I went through 2 months of training with him there. Basically, it just kind of converts the things that he's already drilled into him and converts it more towards law enforcement activity, jumping in and out of cars, apprehending suspects, hiding in building searches. So it just kind of refines the basics that he already has towards law enforcement.
What do you have to keep in mind as a handler when you're working with a canine partner?
It's tough. You instantly build a bond with these dogs, and it's like having another kid around, but you got to also realize when you're using them that to a specific point that they're a tool, and we're using that that canine as a tool to make it a little bit safer for deputies out there when we're doing scenarios. We got to send him into some situations that we normally wouldn't do ourselves, and it's tough to do, but you don't try to overexpose him to any danger, but sometimes you do have to expose him to danger.
Is it hard for the canine to separate play from work?
For as far as Laszlo's concerned, is when he's working, it is playing.
Next question, is there a detox protocol for when Laszlo happens to bite someone on drugs or comes in contact with?
If he had any blood-borne pathogens or anything on him, we just clean him off and wipe him off. As far as him specifically, as far as I know, that there is no documented case of a dog actually getting contaminated from, biting somebody that has whatever, hepatitis to any other disease like that.
Does the canine Laszlo also have the same medical coverage as a normal officer or similar?
No, we go to the vet here, one of the local vets here, so if we have any issues, we just take them there, and it's covered by the county.
Does Laszlo know other languages?
Yeah, Laszlo's trained in German.
And I believe we might have answered this. What is Laszlo's favorite food?
It's his dog food. That's all he gets. No table scraps for him. Although there is times when he does such good work, I'd like to feed him a big old steak, but he just gets dog food.
So how does Laszlo know which suspect to chase when you arrive on scene?
Well, what we do is, we evaluate the scene. Every scene's different. We talk to the officers on scene or the victims of the crime, try to determine the last known location where the suspect was seen. And we'll start, I'll start to deploy Laszlo in that location and cast him throughout the area. And then when he goes nose down and he shows me that he's on a track, We'll cast it again and make sure that we're on the right track. So we use the information that we have from the original call from witnesses in the area for our last known location. And once he goes, we get going.
So personally, what made you decide to become a canine officer?
Actually, it's been something that I've been interested in since I started my career going about 16 years now. It's something that I've always been interested in, and I just kept following it and testing every time. It's a pretty pristine spot, so it doesn't come open and available very often. So when it does, you just got to test, and this was my third time testing for it, and finally got picked up.
So when you went to pick out Laszlo, what was your determining factors? Why did you choose him out of the other dogs?
He showed a really good play drive, ball drive, which shows that he wants to work. He's really interested in working. He showed just a strong character. He was very social, and then very ready to work. When it was time to go to work, he had no hesitation whatsoever. So he looked like a well-rounded animal.
As a canine handler, do other officers ever handle Laszlo, or is it exclusively you?
Exclusively me.
What, in your view, what's the biggest asset of having a canine as a partner?
You know, on a personal level, it's obviously nice having a canine partner. Just having a companion in the car with you, it's nice. But the biggest thing, truly, in the law enforcement aspect of it is he's basically a full force multiplier. You know, for instance, a couple weeks back, we had a good break at Hastings store. So if you think about it, you have units on the outside of the Hastings store, so you have 4 units holding containment on each of the corners, and then you have 2 officers with you searching. So if you take the canine out of that aspect, you're looking at a huge time that those officers are tied up for searching and clearing a building. So say it might take those officers, if they didn't have a canine, take them an hour to search that entire building and clear it safely and to make sure that nobody's in there. Then when you have the canine, I mean, you're drastically cutting that time down to, you know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. So you get those officers back on the street. And obviously the canine's nose is a lot better. His senses are a lot better than human senses. So the potential to locate somebody a lot quicker. So just a combination of all that.
And Laszlo's breed?
He's German Shepherd from Germany.
From Germany. Another question. Do you roughly know how many captures a canine typically gets in 1 year? Is there stats on that?
I don't know those offhand. I know it varies. You know, it varies from different shifts. Like I'm working the graveyard shift, which is obviously the more busy shift. And it just depends on the weather out, you know, what people are doing. The nicer the weather, people are doing more knucklehead things, you know, getting intoxicated and drugs. And so it just kind of really varies.
In a scenario where you arrive on scene and there's, say, 3 suspects that ran out of a vehicle, how do you determine which scent to go for, or how does the dog determine which scent, or?
You know, this kind of like I said earlier about the casting him, you know, in the general direction. So you try to get the, you know, whatever officer was chasing him, or if there's witnesses in the area, the general direction where the driver was seen, if that's your primary target. Or say it was a car where the passenger had a felony warrant that you were wanting to apprehend. We go into that area where he was last seen and cast him in that area and just try to pick up that track where we have witness information that that's the direction he was traveling.
I think that's all the questions we have from our fans.
All right.
All right.